Welcome back, beautiful souls, to this second part for the final full moon of the year, the full moon in Gemini that happened yesterday. But as always, the energies are still very prevalent and lingering around us, and that whenever you choose to watch this, even though the full moon will have passed, you will be activating this energy within you as you watch this. So I just did the first part where I talked about the energies of this season, wrapping up 2024 already. And I read the cards for Gemini throughout the first 6 houses. So house through 1, 2, 6. So if you have Gemini in any of those houses, I would go watch the first part. If you have Gemini in the 7th up till the 12th house, this is going to be your reading. And interestingly enough, as I said in part 1, the theme that wanted to keep coming through is light. And again, I'm not usually one to read about light that often, but that is the energy that keeps wanting to come through. So for today, I'm using the Work Your Light Oracle. And I'm also using the Herbal Astrology Oracle. And for today's reading, I wanted to draw a card that represents your human essence and a card that represents your soul essence, and how you're here to kind of merge both of them in one way or another in this lifetime. Now, in the first part, I talked at length about Gemini, the symbolism, the meaning, and the reflections that came up for me as I took some time to meditate on the energy of this full moon and this season. So if that interests you, I encourage you to go watch the first segment of the first part. And as always, yes, I'm doing these live on Instagram, but they are going to be up on my YouTube, hopefully sooner than later, with timestamps. So if that is of interest to you, I always notify everybody on Instagram once it's on YouTube, and with the timestamps, it makes it a lot easier to go and look at the sections that might be of interest to you. So without further ado, we're going to get into the second part of today's reading. So as I said, I'm going to be drawing a card for your human self and a card for your soul self, and also like a house placement. So even though we're going to continue with Gemini placements throughout the astrological wheel, I felt called to draw a card to kind of see what area of your life you're really going to be showcasing this embodiment and this integration that you're here to achieve in this life. So without further ado, let's get into it. Oh, that all flipped over. That's too many cards. We are not going to be taking those. All right, so Gemini, as I say, in the 6th house. So whether that's your placement or not, Gemini in the 6th house, that reading could have a message for you. And just as a reminder, even though I do read for birth chart placements, the readings are essentially like a pick a card. So if you're drawn to a certain pile, but then another pile happens to flow through into my brain. So let's say you're drawn to pile 3 and then pile 1 wants to come through, know that there's a message there for you. And the same thing happens for these astrological place readings. So right now I'm reading for the 7th house, but the 6th house just popped into my head. So it's not about limiting yourself to your birth chart placements. It's about using your intuition, knowing that there might be a message there for you. So with that being said, let's see. Gemini in the 7th house, or for those who this resonates. Okay, this is really interesting. So Gemini in the 7th house, your first card out is Mintaken, longing for home, belonging, the original light worker. And this card came out for the 6th house. And then we have Koka, foresight. Interesting. So right away, what I'm picking up for those of you that have Gemini in the 7th house, or for who this resonates, you are inherently psychic, and a very powerful one at that, because I'm picking up just psychic energy, shamanism from this card. And then we have Mintakan energy coming through. So we talked a lot about Mintaka when we read for Gemini in the 6th house, but essentially Mintakans are a type of starseed that originated from Mintaka that's not exactly livable anymore. So those starseeds went to other galaxies to live. And a common trait of Mintakans is a longing for home. And they also tend to be very compassionate, sensitive, and gentle beings. So if you're looking for confirmation on what type of starseed you are, you might be Mintakan. You might have had lives on Mintaka. And you might just have these traits where you feel very sensitive. You feel everything. You're very compassionate, very gentle. But as a soul, you bring this very fierce edge. Like, look at this card. We have a jaguar. And we have the coca plant being, this female looking being here, planting the coca. Now, I'm not really familiar with coca. Do I have the booklet here? I do. So I just kind of want to see what this card is about because I'm not familiar with it. Let's see. Oh my God. So, I was saying I was picking up psychic powers. So right on the gate, upright. This card means supernatural powers, ability to see universal truth, genius, spiritual guidance, brilliance, integrity, impeccability. And it's a plant that was very prevalent in the culture of the Incas and South American people. And here, actually, it's the goddess, if I can pick up this card. It's the goddess Chaska, who's linked to Venus, and she's depicted holding sprigs of coca, embodying the power and fruitfulness of love. And places where coca grew were considered sanctuaries where all humans would worship the gods. And it's interesting because coca is ruled by Uranus. And yet we have this female deity who's ruled by Venus. So we have Uranus energy and Venus energy coming through. And the theme that keeps wanting to come through as I finish reading the booklet is integrity. So Jaguar Spirit is going to be accompanying you to make sure that you stay in integrity and alignment with who you are as a soul. And with this Mintakan card coming through, it might have been very difficult for you to remain in alignment with your soul's integrity because your sensitivity might have gone the best of you. But with both these cards coming out, it's indicating that you are meant to intertwine both of these energies. You're meant to enmesh your sensitivity with your psychic abilities and fierce power. And you're going to emerge completely changed because it's I'm just noticing now there's actually a sword in here. And swords can be a symbol of truth. And I can't remember what house placement it was, but I ended up putting the cards. I had the human card on my left and then the soul card on my right. And I ended up putting them on opposite sides. And this indicates to me that you're going to succeed in embodying both your psychic abilities and talent successfully with your human sensitivity, but also galactic sensitivity because it comes from Mintakan sources. And then we have Uranus and Venus. So again, Venus, that love, that ability to be gentle and to be fiercely compassionate towards others is also within your soul. So being compassionate is a soul trait of yours. And then we have Uranus, and I'm picking up the fact that you have a galactic soul. So Earth is not your home planet. You actually originate from elsewhere. It could be Mintaka, you could have had a lifetime there, but it could also be another galaxy or star system. And then we have the 5th house. So the 5th house is about creativity, romance, passion, children. So what I'm really picking up is focusing on those parts of you, your creativity, your originality, your innate talents is going to help you to experience more joy here, because I'm certainly picking up that for those of you that have Gemini in the 7th house, you might have felt it difficult to be here on Earth. Most Mintakans, sorry to say it, kind of fucking hate being here on Earth because it's so dense. It's so harsh. Like, people are fucking mean. They're rude. They're selfish. They're arrogant. They're greedy. And a lot of Mintakans have a very hard time understanding how people can be like that. So the medicine for your own soul and well-being is found within your creativity, within your passions, the things you enjoy. I don't know why, but like crocheting is coming into my brain right now. Painting, creating, maybe pottery or gardening, anything that really brings peace to your soul, that you're like, Leah, I need to do this because it makes me feel calm. Make sure you're doing it regularly, because it is your own type of soul ritual that allows you to recenter in your heart. Because Mintakans operate in the heart. And that's why they have such a hard time here, because a lot of humans are up here in the head. Whereas the Mintakans are by default, because of their purity and innocence in their hearts. And in order to protect this energy, you need to cultivate practices and rituals where you allow your soul to shine and feel nourished and replenished. And it's interesting because this deity's out kind of like in the desert, in the mountains. So spending time in the desert and the mountains could be beneficial for you. Anywhere where you can let your inner child out is going to be supportive for you as well. I'm trying to see if I'm picking up anything else for Gemini in the 7th. But yeah, the main message that wants to come through is that you're a galactic being. Your origins are not from Earth. And it's interesting because as I look at this card, you see a bunch of different planets. So we see this Mintakan being looking out at these other planets. So your soul has definitely traveled around and been in different realms. And you're here to just embody this medicine, this ancient medicine, because this card did refer to the Incas, and the Incas are an ancient civilization. You have this medicine imprinted within you. Maybe not this specific culture, but ancient medicine nonetheless, as a soul. So you're kind of like this gatekeeper of just ancient wisdom and medicine. And it's medicine that has to do with herbs for a lot of you. It could be something else, but herbs are coming through very strongly. So that's all I'm picking up for Gemini in the 7th. Feel free to let me know how that resonates or it doesn't resonate, because I would love to hear from you. We're now going to move into Gemini in the 8th house. So if you have this placement or this resonates, this is going to be your message. I wonder why the theme of light wanted to come through again today, because of the full moon. You know, like the full moon is when we are often illuminated by something. We experience a breakthrough. We have an aha moment. So I wonder if that's why light wanted to be part of the theme today. Just an interesting thought that popped into my head. All right, so let's see. Gemini in the 8th house. Ooh, we have Star Mother. How can you mother yourself? It's interesting because there's been a lot of just like galactic energy coming through this reading. So Star Mother, right out of the gate, for those of you that have this placement or for who this resonates, galactic lineage comes from your mother's side of the family. So your mom might actually be a galactic soul too. And then, oh, this is cute. We have Poppy Dream 41. And it's interesting because this card is the cover of the deck, which I find very synchronistic. And we have Neptune and Saturn. So it's interesting because I usually attribute Neptune to being, it can represent the mother, but I often see it as grandmother energy. And then we have Saturn, which is father energy. So you're having both those grandparent archetypes coming through. as your soul energy, which is really fascinating. And then we have a waning crescent. Waning crescents are the last crescent of the moon before a new moon. And waning crescents are usually a symbol of heightened intuition, ability to self-reflect, and also being a holder of sacred wisdom. So there's a lot of wisdom and medicine within your maternal bloodline, and that has been passed down to you. And at this point in time, you might have been going through a lot, especially with Gemini being in your 8th house. As we've talked about, the 8th house is everything that is hidden. It's not obvious, it's veiled, and you might have been going through it without knowing you've been going through it. So you're being encouraged to really nurture yourself and take care of you at this point in time. Now, I know there's the holiday season around the corner, but you're being encouraged to carve out that time for yourself, doing things you personally enjoy. And it's interesting that we have the word dream coming through. So spending time reflecting on what your dreams are. And I just noticed this card also, like there's a lot going on in this card. We have flowers, but then we also have waves down here. And then we have the moon, and then we have the sky, and then we have who could be Neptune up here. And then we have a star. So there's a lot going on. Definitely picking up ancestral energy, heavy. Mainly maternal, some paternal, but it's mainly maternal that's coming through very strongly. Intense grandmother energy for some of you, like very strong grandmother energy. For some of you, your grandmother had a very strong presence while she was alive. For some of you, she has transitioned and she still has this energy, because I can just feel like really strong grandmother energy. Grandmother energy who was like in charge of the family, who led the family more so than the grandfather might have. So very strong women is what I'm picking up for this particular placement, which is really interesting. And then we have the 2nd house. So as we've talked about, the 2nd house represents your finances, your possessions, and your values. But what I'm really picking up with the number 2 right now is partnership, is duality. And we have the 2 different colored flowers here. So it's like we have the pink flower here, and then we have the white flower here. So there's something to do with duality, but duality within the context of partnership. So again, like I'm picking up very strong grandparent energy. So the dynamic between like your grandma and your grandpa might have been very unconventional. I don't know why I'm picking up, maybe your grandfather was a shoemaker. I don't know why that's coming through, but it is. I'm also picking up, what is it? Poker. Maybe one of your grandparents enjoyed playing poker, flopjack, or something like that. I'm also picking up gardening. Maybe someone in your family really enjoyed flowers, because we have flowers on this card, and then we also have flowers on this card. So I know this was supposed to be like your soul and your human self, but like your soul is very connected to like ancestral bloodlines. And I'm kind of picking up that, this is very interesting, oh my God. Your specific soul chose to continuously incarnate on earth in complex ancestral patterns and lines in order to help shift and heal them by bringing in this star mother nurturing energy. So even though you might feel disconnected from maybe feeling compassionate or being able to nurture others, it is within your bloodline to tap into these softer traits and energies. They are within you, and they are part of your soul. Because yeah, I'm definitely picking up that you chose to incarnate in particularly complex and difficult family dynamics. Some of you might actually find success as a therapist. With the second house here, helping and counseling. Counseling is a big theme that's coming up. And mainly helping others heal from their own traumas. And maybe helping others mother themselves and show compassion. But yeah, I'm picking up that your subconscious and like family, like psyche, and like I was gonna say box of treasures, but like subconscious treasures runs deep with this water here and this wanting crescent. There's a lot. I don't want to say baggage because it's not baggage. It's just, I want to say treasure boxes because you're not sure what you're gonna find. And it's interesting because like I've been thinking about like lockers and like storage rooms, and like you think of like storage wars and stuff like that, where people have lockers and it's like you don't know what's in there. That's kind of what I'm picking up from this card. So your soul, if I had to summarize it in a sentence, chose to incarnate in family dynamics that have a lot of just treasure boxes. You don't know what's in there. And your soul chose that in order to bring in this healing energy to the bloodline. So whether you realize it or not, this is the archetype, the energy you embody and give off in your human self. Even though as a soul, this is what you're packing, which is intense. It's a lot of energy. And a lot of power and ancestral, just like potency. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that wants to come through for Gemini in the 8th house, but I think that's all I'm picking up on, is that your soul didn't originate here on Earth. You come from elsewhere, and you like to incarnate in complex family situations in order to bring in more compassion. So if that resonated, feel free to let me know in the comment section, because I would love to hear from you. We are now going to move in to Gemini in the 9th house. So if you have this placement or this resonates, this is going to be your reading. Let's see here. Gemini in the 9th house. I'm hearing a truck outside right now, which is interesting. This one. Okay, so Gemini in the 9th house. We have the 3rd house coming out as your illuminated house. And then we have Mother Worth, Strength, card 13. And take a break, a life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. This is very interesting. The first thing my eye's noticing is the pink hues we've got going on. There's like pink back here. There's a lot of pink on this card, and then this pink on this piece of paper. So the color pink is quite significant. We also have Venus on this card. And we have heart energy and then womb energy. So I'm picking up strong feminine healer energy. And this is regardless of gender, but for those of you that have Gemini in the 9th house, you have a very strong and potent ability to help heal women, females, maybe women that have issues with their menstrual cycles, maybe helping them heal their relationship with their menstrual cycle through herbs could be something you want to explore or look into. I'm hearing the word peacekeeper for some reason. And just like holding that space, because you just see this woman here, she's completely at peace. And there's these people helping each other along here. And then we have this beautiful line just pressed up against like this woman who looks like an elder. And it's interesting that we have this woman who looks like an elder, yet the herb is Mother Worth. So maybe you have this ability to mother others. Just be very nurturing and compassionate. And this, again, is regardless of gender. And you kind of just bring in this sanctuary kind of energy wherever you go, and people just want to be around you because of this energy. Maybe people actually feel like taking a break when they're with you. They're able to just really relax and release their to-do list and be fully present. Again, I'm picking up, if you work in a workplace where you have colleagues, you might have colleagues that just stop in and just like, if there's a chair in front of you, they just come in and they just sit down. And they might take a big sigh and just release energy. And it's because you, with your energy, create this inviting aura. People just want to be around you because of your energy. They feel invited, they feel welcomed in, and they feel that they can take a break and relax when they're around you, which is actually a very beautiful energy. And it's interesting because we have the third house. So the third house represents community, communication, and locality. So people that are close to you. So as a soul and as a human, you're being called, if you haven't already, to create a safe space where people can just gather within your local community. People can come together, maybe drink tea, talk about nothing, and just be for a moment. Release the stress and the worries of the outside world. Because you're very strong as a soul, with strength coming out here. And we also have the lion, which is a low-key reference to the strength card in the tarot as well. So a lot of strength, but it's strength that emanates from your heart. It's a love-based strength. And as we look at this card, we have a woman here sitting on the edge. And she's sitting there with her hands wide open towards the moon. And the moon phase here is the first crescent. So new beginnings. So this woman is there with her arms wide open, welcoming in these new beginnings. And we also have this woman here with her hands open around her heart. And her legs are also open in receivership. So there's something about you being able to receive. And maybe it's receive people exactly as they are, and they can just feel that. Yes, that's what I'm picking up on. People can just sense your receptivity. That's what draws them in. They feel pulled towards you energetically. And it's because you make them feel so good about themselves. And you don't even need to say anything. It's just because of this energy you exude. Very warm, very loving, very understanding and empathetic. I'm also hearing that with the take a break, a life's work, not a season, get off the treadmill, you're meant to live a life that is very balanced. You're not meant to overwork yourself, because richness and however you want to define richness, because it can be subjective, is going to allow you to just be in a state where you're just calm and at peace. Nothing else is going to matter. And I'm also hearing that this energy of peacefulness, you're going to allow it to just build within you and then overflow outwards and nourish your community. Maybe you're going to help inspire your friends to quit their jobs where they're working essentially like a slave, just trading all their time, all their energy for nothing. And you're going to introduce them to taking breaks. Maybe starting their own company, starting something that makes them passionate. Maybe starting something together if that resonates. Because I'm definitely picking up sisterhood in this card, just really bonding with people. And the theme for this month was soul tribe. So finding your tribe, cultivating that space where people can come together, is really going to be a strong part of your path and why your soul chose to incarnate here. And as I look at both these cards, the energy is very much the same. It's calm. It's inviting. It's receptive. So doing things within your local community is going to be significant, and actually getting your community to help each other out. Maybe you start a community garden or something. And with the pink mountains at the back, I'm picking up rose quartz. So rose quartz could be a significant crystal for you. And then we have the pink coming up again on this card as well. So very beautiful energy, very well nourished and receptive energy, because we have the uterus here, and this symbolizes the sacral, and the sacral is a receptive energy center. So you're just very energetically receptive and open to others, both as a soul and at a human level. And as I said, you're meant to just create this space where community can just gather, which is actually very beautiful. So that's all I'm getting for Gemini in the 9th house. So I'm going to say 10th, but I don't think we're there yet. 9th house. So feel free to let me know how that lands for you. We are now going to move in to Gemini in the 10th house. And now I hope I'm not confusing those numbers. I don't think so. I don't think we've done 10th house yet. I know it did happen once. I did forget a placement. But, I mean, hopefully that's not the case today. So, Gemini in the 10th house. Let's see. So, right out of the gate, we have first house. As your leading house that wants to be seen. And then we have Reishi, retreat, as your soul energy. And then we have, boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries, as your human card? Now, I just got very tired all of a sudden. So for those of you that have this placement, or for who this resonates, maybe you need to take time off. Maybe you need to go on a retreat and establish better boundaries, because I'm definitely, like, I just felt all of a sudden like my energy kind of just flush and flow away. And we are in the 10th house. So the 10th house is career, vocation, social status. So you might be really pushing yourself when it comes to your career to make it, get somewhere, meet a deadline. But I'm picking up like burnt out energy. Like, I'm feeling the strong urge right now to go sleep and to not do anything. So if that resonates, I encourage you to listen to your body and to go rest, to retreat. Even do a retreat. Like, I mean, if you have the opportunity to go somewhere, either you go to a retreat with like a spiritual healer or what have you, or you do your own retreat where you just, I don't know, book an Airbnb somewhere for a couple days. Whatever this is, take time for you to recharge. And it's interesting because we also have a sleeping bear here that I hadn't noticed at first. But look at him. He's just sleeping. He's resting. He's peaceful. AF, I might add. Like, there's no worry on this bear's face. This bear is enjoying its retreat. Because where I live, it's winter. A lot of animals have gone into hibernation. There's nothing wrong with that. So for those of you that have Gemini in the 10th house, it's an invitation for you to pull back your energy, to retreat, to take care of yourself. We have the Sun and Jupiter here. And what I'm picking up on is it's a time for you to take a pause, take a break, to relax and unwind, trusting that things are going to take off with more momentum in the new year. So for now, I mean, what day are we even today? We are... I think we're the 16th today of December. Like, fuck, take the rest of the month off if you can. Like, really relax and replenish your inner reserves, because I'm definitely picking up burnt out energy. And look at this card now. Like, just look at this card. This is you as a human. And these are all the people that have been wanting things from you. Maybe it's Deborah down in HR. Maybe this is your boss. Maybe this is your, I was going to say your kids, but maybe your kids. Or this could be like parents of other kids. And they're all wanting to get a piece of you right now. So The main message for Gemini in the 10th house, or for whoever this resonates, is to put up better boundaries, especially around holiday season. Do not give in to people pleasing or having to maintain a specific image or status. If you don't feel like going to, I don't know, Karen's Christmas party, don't go to Karen's Christmas party. It's okay to meet your own needs. People that haven't unplugged yet, that are still in the matrix, aren't going to understand, but that's okay. They're not meant to understand. You understand, and it's about you putting yourself first. Replenishing yourself, recharging, retreating. Maybe you just, like I say, stay home and read books for a weekend. Or binge on your favorite TV show. Whatever it is you need to do to take care of you, that is the main message that's coming through right now. And to put those boundaries, I'm hearing that for some of you, you need to unplug from your phone. Turn it off at night. Maybe put it on airplane mode. I don't know. You know. Like, I've been considering doing that, to be honest. Like, just disconnecting from the Wi-Fi. I don't need emails coming in at like midnight. And neither do you. So really retreat and nourish yourself. The world can wait. Everything is going to take off with even more momentum in the new year once you allow yourself this rest. And also, as you allow yourself to implement these boundaries, not going to Karen's Christmas party, you're naturally going to replenish your inner energy, your chakras that have felt maybe a little sluggish, maybe blocked, are going to start to spin again, clearing out all the gunk, because you're no longer going to allow all these people to have access to you. So boundary work, for those of you that have Gemini in the 10th house, is going to be crucial over the upcoming days and weeks, especially if you want to kickstart the new year on the right foot. And I just find it fascinating because we have the first house here. And we're having that mirroring energy between the one in the 10th house and then the one in the first house. So the one is about the self. You can't be successful if you are not meeting your own internal needs. I don't care what people have to say about it. And it's also understanding that with the number 27 here, 7 plus 2 equals a 9. So 9 is the stage before completion. You're about to close out a cycle. And 9 is often a buildup of energy where we do start to feel tired. We haven't reached the 10 yet, or the step before, but we start to feel tired. We might feel a little defeated. So with the retreat energy coming through, it's okay. The success, the 10 you are looking for, is going to come in the new year. We are in the 10th house, so that numerology, that 10 is present in this reading right now. So you can take a break. You can take time off. And it's going to be okay. I'm also picking up some of you need to set boundaries with your parents, especially over the holidays. Your parents might be very demanding, but saying, no, I'm not going to this dinner, or I'm not doing that. And even practicing saying no in the mirror. No, I'm not going. No, I'm not doing that. Is going to be supportive for you. But yes, there is success here, and it is in the new year. You can take a break and enjoy yourself. So that's all I'm picking up for Gemini in the 10th house. Feel free to let me know what is coming up for you, who these people are that are grabbing your energy. I would love to hear from you. We are now going to move into Gemini in the 11th house. So if you have this placement or this resonates, this is going to be your message. Let's see. And also a reminder that these readings are timeless, so it doesn't actually matter when you watch these. Ooh, okay, so Gemini in the 11th. We have 6th house coming through. So health, routine, and occupation. Let's see. Interesting. Okay. So your soul card is number 11, Damiana, the beloved. We have Venus and Pluto. Okay, so I don't typically do love readings, but for those of you that have Gemini in the 11th house, your soul partner, I don't like the word twin flame, but whatever, twin flame, soulmate, whatever freaking word you want to use, they're here on Earth. And you are meant to meet them and be with them. This, I'm getting strong indication that this is going to be a romantic connection if you're not with them already. And it doesn't have to be. For some of you, it might just be a platonic relationship. But for most of you, this is a strong romantic energy coming through. And I find it interesting that this is your soul card. Your soul card chose union with your lover, your soulmate, as part of its path. And I'm kind of wondering if your soul signed up to incarnate here on Earth with the requirement that your soulmate always be incarnate also. I mean, I'm definitely picking that up for some of you. You might have put that in your soul contract before incarnating, being like, hey, I'm not fucking coming down here on Earth unless I have the guarantee that my lover's here and that we're going to be together. Which is really interesting. Okay, as a human, we have Star Mother. How can you mother yourself? This card came out, I can't remember for which placement. I think it was the 9th house placement, so there might be a message for you there. But how can you mother yourself? Star Mother. Okay, Gemini in the 11th house. This is really interesting. There's a lot of different energies going on. But I definitely feel a lot of romance, a lot of passion, a lot of love coming through. And it's love and passion with another person, which is very unique. Another soul, because as I said, this is the representing card of your soul. And Damiana could be significant for you too. So I would encourage you to go look up what the healing properties of Damiana is. This card is just so enchanting to me. There's so much going on. The Damiana also made me think of lemons. So lemon juice, lemons could be significant. And it's like this union has been heavenly blessed for eternity with this cup here, this chalice of just water pouring. And then we have angel wings at the background. So this is divine union. Your soul has committed to being in a divine union for all of your lifetimes here on Earth. For the most part is what I'm picking up on. There might have been some exceptions, but for the most part, your soulmate, your other half, has always incarnated with you. And again, it's a requirement your soul has always demanded with incarnating here on Earth. And this is just really beautiful energy. And you guys balance each other out perfectly. We have Venus, very loving, very beautiful, enchanting. And then we have Pluto, which is very mysterious, dark, and edgy. So we have a beautiful blend of energies. And then we also have the number 11. So maybe you're born on the 11th, your partner's born on the 11th, and we are in the 11th house. So we have 11-11 coming through, which is really fucking interesting. Really strange too. Like I said, this is supposed to be like soul and light reading. We have like divine union coming through. Very unique indeed. And then Star Mother. So for those of you that have this placement or for who this resonates, there's galactic blood within you. And it comes from your mother's bloodline. Your mom might be a galactic being, whether she knows this or not. And similar to the Virgin Mary, you're here to create and give birth to something quite significant. But with how close your soul is to your partner's soul, I'm picking up that you're meant to birth something together. This could be a child, this could be a project, it could be a business, but it's going to be wildly successful because both of your souls are in agreement with this project. You both chose to co-create this project before you incarnated, and whatever it is you chose to create, it has been blessed by the divine, so it is going to be fucking successful. More successful than you ever thought possible. And then we also have the raven here, blessing the union too. Now, ravens to me symbolize mischief, medicine, wisdom amongst other things. So one of you, either you or your partner, could be particularly mischievous. Maybe you're both mischievous and like to play pranks and have fun and just play. But you both nourish each other. Look at these flowers just blossoming. Look at the closeness between these bodies. And it's fascinating because this soul has stars along their robe, and then this one has flowers. So I wonder what that means. So there's 5 stars, and then there's 3 flowers. 5 plus 3 gives us an 8. So you guys are stronger together than you are apart. Which again, like, you don't see this often. You know, a lot of people are like, you need to make sure that you feel whole and complete as an individual, which is very important. But with you, oh my God, like the strength and power and passion that just emanates from you, just fusioning with your person, is just outworldly. You guys have come together time and time again in different lives to co-create something beautiful and magical every time. I'm also hearing you guys have died together in lives, which is very unique. Not the type of reading that I thought was going to come through. But anyways, Gemini in the 11th. And it's an understanding with the 6th house here. This soul union is going to help the 6th house. So if you've had issues either with your health, your routine, your occupation, figuring out what the hell you're supposed to do with your life, being in this union, and if you're not with this person, visualize your life with this person is going to help unlock this energy. Because as much as I'm all for being independent, those of you that have this specific placement, you're meant to do it with your partner. And it's interesting because as we think of Gemini, as we talked about it in the first part of this reading, we were talking about the glyph of Gemini, and it has the 2 downward vertical sticks. I said sticks, but I mean lines. And then we have the horizontal lines too. Your partner is actually the embodiment of that other line. You're one, they're the other one. You guys are connected in ways that like you guys can't separate. Like, it's really strange. I've never read anything like this before. And I'm also picking up that you guys both embody this like soft, sensitive energy, this mother-like energy. And again, regardless of gender, you guys just bring this inner harmony, this beauty. Like, it actually feels really good to just be in this energy. And when you guys are together, just the love just flows out and helps to envelop everybody else. And that's what you guys are both meant to bring into this world together, is just this abundance of just love that's just pure and galactic. But you guys are the perfect complement to one another. This is wild. Like I say, I don't do love readings, and this has turned into one, but holy shit, it's intense. If you have this placement or this resonates, I would love to hear what your experience has been like with your person, because this just seems like the most like enchanting, surreal love story playing out. So I'm trying to see if there's anything else for Gemini in the 11th. But I think that's pretty much it. You guys are going to be more prosperous, more abundant, more fertile, more creative together, as opposed to doing things independently. Very interesting indeed. Okay, so that's all I'm getting for Gemini in the 11th. We are now going to move into Gemini in the 12th house. So if you have this placement or this resonates, this is going to be your reading. Oh, that flipped over. Okay, we will take it. So Gemini in the 12th house. I was going to say the 11th again. So maybe there's a message for you there. Okay, so you have the 8th house popping out. And then Imrama flipped over, Where are you being called to journey to? So already as a human, you're meant to travel if you have not been doing so. And I'm hearing it's predominantly physical travel, but it could also be spiritual travel through meditation or your dream time. Interesting. Then we have horsetail, patience. And we have 3 and the 5, and together they make an 8. So we have strength also coming through. So as a soul, you are actually very patient and very strong. And like, look at this horse. This horse is just like chilling, completely unbothered by life. And this is your soul energy. It's relaxed, can't be bothered by anything. And we have Saturn and we have Venus. So we have that beautiful interplay of discipline, responsibility, determination, complemented by love, beauty, empathy. So there's a beautiful inner harmony happening within your soul's energy. And this inner harmony is what encourages you to go on travels, adventures, explorations. And this is very interesting. Your soul calls you to travel to specific locations so that you can recall specific memories from past lives. So you're going to be traveling to locations that you've already visited in a past life. And this is because your soul is going to pick up specific key codes while you're visiting that location. And it's going to help your soul to remember itself. And I also love the synchronicity on this card because we have horsetail and then we have a horse on here too. Like, I mean, the symbolism on these cards has sometimes mirrored itself, sometimes it doesn't. But I find it interesting that the horse symbol is here twice. We have the horse tail and then we have an actual horse on this card. We also have a star. And the horse tail, but like it's just, it seems to be like illuminated. It has like just these rays of sunlight. So fundamentally, your soul is patient AF. If you don't feel patient, well, it's going to require some traveling either externally or internally in order to unlock that memory, because you are a very patient soul. And actually, we do have the 8th house here, so you might not feel patient. You might not feel strong, and it's because you're going to have to journey inwards to unlock those memories with the 8th house here. And you're being asked, where are you being called to journey to? So do you have specific locations or sacred sites you want to visit? If you can't physically visit them right now, spending time in meditation, reflecting on where you would go first. Maybe you want to travel to Scotland and the first thing you want to do is go visit a castle. Simply spending time meditating, reflecting on what it would feel like and be like to enter into a castle is going to start to activate those memories. So you don't even need to physically be there just yet in order to recall your soul parts that you have left there. But yeah, what I'm picking up for this placement, again, it's kind of secretive. It's strange. Every time I get to the 12th house, things are kind of not always disclosed to me as a reader, which I always find interesting. It's as though it's like it's yours to discover, so I'm not going to come out and tell you. You need to go figure it out for yourself. So with us being in the 12th house, especially with the 8th house coming out too, that's double confirmation of that. Let's see what else. Maybe you love horses. Maybe the horse is one of your spirit animal guides at this time. Horses are all about liberation, freedom. So maybe you want more freedom. Maybe you're a life path number 5, because lifetimes number 5. No, life paths number 5 are all about liberation, freedom. That's what they seek. And we do have the 5 here with the 35. 5 can also symbolize challenges and obstacles, but it's tempered by the 3. And the 3 in the tarot represents the Empress, and the Empress represents unconditional love, abundance, harvest. So even though you might go through some challenges in this life, there's a lot of love and harmony surrounding you, helping you as you dive in deep into your underworld in order to retrieve your soul memories. Some of you might have been magicians or priestesses in a past life. So that's why you might feel that pull or that call to travel to sacred sites. It's for those specific memories. But yeah, strong horse energy. Like maybe you own horses. Maybe you have owned horses in past lives. But horses are very significant. So this is all I'm picking up for Gemini in the 12th house. So as a soul, you are very patient. And if you're not patient yet, you are called to develop patience through traveling to sacred sites. So this wraps up the final full moon reading for 2024. This year has been intense. I don't want to cover too much more in this live because we've been here a while, but I hope you are allowing yourself the necessary grace to close out these cycles. It's been a heavy year. Give your time the space to recharge, to replenish yourself, because you deserve it. You should be your first priority, and then as you fill your cup, that overflow nourishes others. In the meantime, I'm sending you all so much love. Until next time.